Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining today. Today we will do a 30-minute vinyasa, and if you're a beginner, I would suggest grabbing a block if you have one, and maybe a strap. Let's start by coming to a seated position with the soles of our feet to touch. Once you're settled in, start to take neck circles in one direction. So lean your ear to the left and circle in that direction. Start to become aware of your breath here. Take one more in this direction and then reverse. Complete this round and come back to a neutral position. Inhale, reach both arms to the sky and come to eagle arms. So bring your right hand in front of your left hand, and if it's accessible, maybe wrap your hand around, bringing the palms to touch. Take a deep inhale and exhale, lean forward. Breathing into the upper shoulders and lower neck area, really opening that space. Inhale, rise up, release the arms, shake them out, and take the bind on the opposite side. So left hand comes over right arm, maybe palms come to touch. Inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise back up. Unwind the arms. Maybe shake them out a little. And then let's come to a tabletop position on your hands and knees. Arms should be shoulder distance apart, as well as knees hip distance apart, stacked directly under the hips. Inhale and lift the chest, send the gaze to the sky for cow. Exhale, curl the spine under for cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Take a few more rounds here. Come back to a neutral spine. Inhale and lift the right arm to the sky and thread it through the left arm. Stay here if this is comfortable, or maybe extend the left arm over the left ear. Bring the right ear to the mat and keep the hips up to the sky. Inhale and unwind. Bring the right arm back up to the sky. Exhale, come back to a neutral tabletop position, and we'll take that on the opposite side. Inhale, left arm reaches to the sky. Exhale, thread it through the right arm, bringing the left ear to the mat, maybe extending the right ear over the right shoulder, and remember to keep the hips up to the sky. Inhale and unwind. Bring the left arm to the sky. Plant the right hand. Exhale, come back to a neutral tabletop position. Take an inhale, curl the toes under, send the hips back and up. to downward facing dog. The first down dog is always the hardest, so maybe pedal out your legs here, bending one leg, keeping the opposite straight. Seeing how the hamstrings feel today. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat, bend deeply into the knees, and exhale, step or hop through to a seated position with your knees up and soles of the feet on the mat. Exhale to lie back, but keeping the knees up. Inhale and lift the right leg up with the knee bent so the shin is parallel to the mat, and then place it back down. Inhale, left leg lifts up. Exhale, plant it back down. Take a few more rounds like this. Really engage the lower abdominals here. Take one more on each side and then come back to neutral knees. Inhale, lift both knees up closer to your chest, and exhale, lean them both to the left. Inhale, come back to the middle. Exhale, lean them both to the right. So again, you want to keep the lower abdominals engaged here and only lean over as far as you can. There's no need to bring your knees to the mat or closer to the ground. We're just really working into the lower abs. Option to stay here or fully extend the legs and keep the same rotation. For a little more stability, reach over to the side of your mat and hold on to the side of the mat. Exhale, lean over to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back to center, keeping the lower abs engaged. Take one more on each side. Come back to stillness and bring the soles of the feet back to the mat. So both knees are bent here. Inhale and lift the right leg, placing the right ankle on top of the left knee. Inhale, lift the left leg and slide your right hand through the middle of your legs, maybe reaching for the back of the left thigh. Take an inhale and bring the thigh as close to you as possible without causing any discomfort. You should feel a stretch in the back of your left hamstring as well as a little in your right hip flexor. Hold here and breathe. Release the bind, maybe shake the legs out, and then switch sides. So your left ankle comes to your right knee. Inhale, lift the right leg, interlacing the left hand between the left thigh and reaching for the right back of the thigh. Inhale and bring your legs closer to you. Exhale, flex the feet and settle in here for a few breaths. Exhale, release the bind, and take both of your hands to the back of your thighs and rock yourself up to a seated position. Plant the hands, step both legs back, and come to a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and walk your hands back to your feet so you're at the bottom of your mat. Inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands and walk them up to a high push-up position. And remember, there's always an option to come down to your knees here if that is more comfortable for you. Bend your elbows, come into a chaturanga position, and then scoop your heart up for upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips back for downward facing dog. Taking that same sequence again, exhale and walk the hands back to the feet so you're at the bottom of the mat. Inhale and lift up all the way. Hands come to face each other. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift and walk your hands up to a high plank position. This time shifting all of your weight onto your right side. Again, you can come down to your knee here. Inhale and reach the left arm to the sky, coming for a side push-up. Come to the knife edge of your right foot. Exhale, come back to center. Bend the elbows, come to chaturanga. Inhale, flip the feet, pull the heart forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips back to downward facing dog. One more time. Exhale, walk the hands back to the feet. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, lift the chest, walk the hands forward to a high plank or high push-up. Shift your weight onto your left side. Again, come to the knee if you need to. Inhale, right arm lifts high to the sky. Make sure to push up with the hips. Exhale, send the right hand back to the mat. Bend the elbows, come to a chaturanga position. Inhale, flip the feet under, upward facing dog, straighten the arms, heart shines through. Exhale, send the hips back and up for downward facing dog. Walk the hands back to the feet so you're at the bottom of the mat. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. And keep your arms straight up. Lift your right leg, keeping it bent. Twist to the right side, extending the left arm out forward. The right arm comes behind. Inhale, lift the arm again, step the right foot forward, and lift the left leg. Twist to open up to your left side. So right arm comes forward, left arm comes back. Exhale, extend the arms, and place the knee down on the mat, taking a step forward. And continue that until you're back to the top of your mat. Once you're at the top, inhale, rise tall, look to your hands. Exhale, swan dive forward and take opposite wrist to opposite elbow for ragdoll. Maybe you extend the legs out so they are further than hip distance apart. And just sway here for a bit, catch your breath. Maybe nod your head yes and no. Inhale, take a deep bend in the knees, rise up to chair pose. So knees are bent, hips are sitting back like you're in a chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step or hop back to chaturanga. Bent elbows. Inhale, straighten the arms, upward facing dog. Exhale, curl the toes under, send the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg, bring it to the front of the mat for a low lunge with the left knee planted. Inhale and come back to a half split and rock forward to a low lunge. So it's a low lunge to a half split. And do this 3 times. On your final round, come back to a low lunge, lift the left knee, step back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Flip the feet, straighten the arms, pull the heart forward. Exhale, curl the toes under, send the hips back and up, downward facing dog. And lift the left leg for low lunge. Taking the same sequence on this side. Right knee comes to the mat. Exhale and lean back to a half split. Inhale, rock forward to a low lunge. And take 3 of these on this side. After your 3rd round, lift the right knee. Exhale, step back to chaturanga, bent elbows. Inhale, flip the feet, heart pulls forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips back, downward facing dog. We'll hold this for 4 breaths. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat, bend deeply into the knees. Exhale and step or hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up to chair pose. Hips stay low, knees are bent. Exhale, arms come to the side, Tadasana. We'll take that one more time. Inhale, rise up to chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step or hop back to bent elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts and comes to the front of the mat for a low lunge. Plant the left knee, rock back to a half split, and take 3 rounds here. After your final round, lift the left knee, step the right foot back to bent elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, flip the feet, straighten the arms, upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Lift the left leg, bring it to the front for a low lunge. Right knee comes to the mat, and again, we will take 3 rounds of low lunge to half split here. After the 3rd round, lift the right knee, send the left leg back for chaturanga, bend the elbows, flip the feet, inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, curl those toes under, send the hips back for downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to the front of the mat, bend the knees. Exhale, step or hop forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up to chair pose, bending the knees, sending the hips back. Exhale to standing. And we'll just stay here. Let's take 2 breaths here. Catch your breath. Inhale, step the right leg back for warrior 2. Left leg is bent and the knee is tracking toward the second toe. Arms come out to a T. Take a look back at your right arm, making sure it's straight, and sink into the left hip. Inhale, flip the left palm and send the right hand to the back of the right thigh, bringing the left hand up to the sky. Exhale, come to extended side angle, either bringing the left forearm to the left knee, right arm comes to the sky, or extending all the way open, bring the left hand to the mat. Hold here and breathe. Inhale, rise back up to warrior 2. Shift your right arm forward. Exhale, plant both of the hands and step back to chaturanga, bent elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat, bend the knees. Exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise to standing, palms facing each other. Exhale, hands come down to the side. Inhale, step back with the left leg to warrior 2. Right leg is bent and the knee is tracking with the second toe. Arms come out to a T. Take a look back at your left arm. Make sure that it's straight behind you. Inhale, flip the right palm and place the left palm on the back of the left thigh. Right arm comes up to the sky. Gaze comes up with the arm. Exhale, come to extended side angle. So bring the right forearm to the right knee. Left arm comes up to the sky. Or you can extend all the way out, placing the right hand on the mat. And just breathe here. Inhale, rise back up to warrior 2. Shift your left arm forward. Place both hands on the mat. Step back to chaturanga, bent elbows. Inhale, straighten the arms, upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to the front of the mat. Bend the knees and step or hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, bring the arms back to the side, and if you have a block, here is where you can grab it. So I'm grabbing my block, and we are coming to Malasana Yogi Squat. So come to the long edge of your mat and point the toes so they're facing the short edge of the mat. Sink down into the hips, and the block can be used underneath the hips on the highest setting. So this is more comfortable for you. If you don't need or want to use the block, you can sink a little bit lower into the hips. Bring the elbows to the inside of your knees and bring the hands to prayer. Or you can bring the hands down to the mat. And we'll hold here for 5 breaths. Option to stay here, or if crow is in your practice, come to crow. If crow is not in your practice, but you would like to play around with it, you can grab a block and place it in front of the mat where your head would go. Frame your hands around the block and come down to your knees. Lift your hips up and place your knees on the back of your triceps. And play around here with shifting forward by lifting one leg at a time, or maybe even rest your forehead on the block so you can know what it feels like to be all the way forward. If you're comfortable without a block, remove the block and just do the same sequence. So bring your knees to the back of the triceps, point the toes, lift one leg at a time, maybe find some balance, maybe you fall. Either way, just play around with balancing and see how it feels in your body. And if you find the spot that works for you, then you find the spot. If not, we'll try again tomorrow. Once you're done playing around with crow, take a vinyasa. So come to chaturanga, or you can come straight to downward facing dog. Either way, we will all meet back in downward facing dog. From your down dog, inhale, gaze forward, bend the knees, and step or hop through to a seated position with your legs out in front of you for staff pose. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky, and exhale to fold forward. Bring your chin to your chest and hinge forward at the hips first. Lead with the heart. Inhale, lift halfway and take a different bind. Maybe fold a little bit deeper into staff pose. Maybe you grab a strap here and put that around your feet and then fold forward. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, come to a reclined position on your back with your knees facing the sky for windshield wiper knees. Exhale and tilt both knees to one side and then back to center and then to the other side. Come back to center and then extend the left leg out long. Hug your right knee into your chest. Inhale. Exhale and place the right knee on the left side of your mat for a twist. Extend the right arm long to the side and bring your right ear to the mat. Inhale, come back to center and switch legs. So hug the left knee in, right leg is out long. Exhale, place the left knee on the right side of the mat. Extend the left arm long. Bring the left ear to the mat. Inhale, come back to center. Bring both knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around. Give yourself a big hug. Thank yourself for showing up today. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, lay the legs out long. Lay the arms out long. Maybe bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Make any last final movements. And Savasana. Feel free to stay here as long as you like. Thank you again for joining me today. Namaste.